Good morning, it's race day again. Yes, I know I race a lot, pretty much in a COVID year. I've already done 20 races this year. But yeah, I mean, I take a lot of them as training races. So today is the 10K cross country that obviously I haven't tapered for. Yesterday was a 16Ks for the day. So I did 8K in the morning, 8K at night. And today obviously I'm going to put in a good effort, go as hard as I can. I know that my legs are not fresh. I'm about to finish a 180K week, but still it's a good training effort. Definitely big competition today. Pretty much all the people that were in front of me in the half marathon 2 weeks ago, that's right, are gonna beat this in this race. So this is pretty much the state cross country championships. So I'll be pretty happy to get in the top 10, top 15. Last week was my first ever cross country race. Obviously it's not exactly like trail running. It's pretty much like hilly road races. But this one is 3 laps of 3K and then like another out and back of like 1K up in Kings Park. Silky's not with me because it's raining today, it's cold today. We'll see how much footage I can get from the race itself. But yeah, it's gonna be fun because that's probably one of my last kind of hard efforts before the marathon in 2 weeks time. Just about 11 minutes to the start. I'm gonna have my Morton gel. First time I'm having it. See how that goes. But yeah, just started raining. So I mean, for me that's good. Maybe that'll slow down some of the fast road runners and help me out a bit on all the turns and the corners. Probably a bit closer to trail running. But anyway, guys, I'll see you after the race. All right, done with the race. Just doing a quick cool down. Was definitely better than what I expected. I'm pretty sure I finished 7th. It was all pretty much off-road, so definitely helped having those trail running skills a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna do an easy 2K jog now, and I'll go and get some food. Haven't had any breakfast before the race, so pretty hungry now. at just about 2 o'clock, just ready to go for my next run. Just gonna foam roll the legs for 5 minutes, get all that tightness out. Obviously, as you saw, I only had a big breakfast. So before the race, I only had a gel. Didn't taste that great. That Morton gel did not taste great at all. But yeah, I only had the gel before the race. After the race, had that homemade bread that Silky made last night. Super simple, super healthy. And had that fruit salad because our Vitamix that we spent $800 on broke down yesterday. So just had a fruit salad. So I'm gonna do a 9.5K jog on the trails with Lily to get to that 180K, and then pretty much only about 3 or 4 days left of training before I go into about 9 to 10 days of taper before the marathon. But yeah, today's race was definitely a positive. I think after that half marathon 2 weeks ago, that was a bit of, I was probably doubting myself a little bit, trying to aim for that 2:30 for the marathon, but today was definitely a bit more positive. 150 meters of gain, all on like soft sand and grass for that 10K race at about 3:30 pace. I'll put this Strava up right here so you can see the stats. But yeah, I mean, it was a good effort. I was pretty happy with that. I got to finish in front of a lot of people that finished in front of me in the half marathon, so that was a positive. But yeah, the main thing is definitely that volume for the marathon, which I'm happy that I'm going to manage and kind of get what I was planning to do. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with today, and I'll see you guys on the trails. Let's go, come on. You don't want to go for a run? You're tired? You're tired? All right, got the run done. Got 9.5K at 44 minutes. But yeah, that makes my 180K week finished. But what I was thinking about this whole run, that I actually did a cross-country race. Actually, I remember doing 3 cross-country races about 22 years ago. So when I was in year 4, 5 and 6, I did cross country in school. So it was like once a year they would do the inter schools back in Israel. So I remember like probably 2 or 3 weeks before each race, before the inter schools, we would do a 300 meter race kind of within the school, and like the top maybe 5 or 6 guys and girls would go to the inter schools. And obviously I wasn't running back then. I was playing like, you know, soccer on the streets. So I remember finishing in the top few in the school, and then going to the inter schools, obviously without any training. I never did too well. I probably would have finished like, you know, top 20, top 30 out of, you know, probably 200 kids. And I do remember that, I don't know if it was in year 5 or 6, probably in year 5 I would say, the phys ed teacher, the PE teacher, is like, you should go and train with the local athletics club, like pretty much like Little Athletics in Australia. And I remember going there and probably training, they were doing 2 training sessions a week. So I went for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then the coach there is like, you know, obviously you had to pay, and you had to pay for it. It was something really, really small. So it was probably like, maybe I'd like to say 15 to 20, maybe $25 a year. So it wasn't that much at all. And And you know, it kind of like he would ask me in the second or third session, he's like, oh, did you bring the money for the training? And I was like, oh, next week, kind of, you know. And I did that for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Back then we were super poor, so this is back when I used to go to school and my lunch was white bread with tomato sauce on it. Like literally we were super poor, so I knew I couldn't ask my parents for the money for the training. So like, you know, it got to the point where I couldn't tell the coach like next week, because it's already been like, you know, 6-7 times that I said that, because it was twice a week. So I kind of stopped going. But yeah, that was my last cross country race. So I was in year 6. I didn't do anything in high school, year 7, and then year 8 I moved to Australia. And the age of 14 was the first time I ever got into like any sporting system. So that was the first time. So that was tennis. When I was 14, finally we had some money, so my parents could afford some group lessons in tennis. But before that, I never had any like proper training with like a club or anything like that. The inter-schools were like once a year. There was track, which I would get into as well, obviously without training. You know, it's different than Australia. They take sports super serious here, which is good. But yeah, back in Israel, we had like one soccer field for like the whole school. Like, you know, you have 500-600 kids on one little soccer field. And then I moved to Australia, and then we had like, you know, 6-7 tennis courts, the swimming pool, you know, maybe 5 or 6 like real soccer fields, while we had like one small kind of indoor size soccer field, outdoor obviously, but that kind of size, like a basketball court size pretty much. So, and that was like a public school in Australia, which I couldn't believe. But yeah, I got thinking about this run, about those races, and now doing cross country again, and then seeing all the juniors here. You know, it was definitely bringing some good memories back then. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this vlog. We're gonna go and get some work, get some food. If you did like that vlog, smash that like button. Lily would really appreciate that. She looks really excited here. She's not sure what I'm doing. We should be going home. But I will see you in the next video. Peace.